What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the Winning Mentality YouTube channel. Today, this wasn't planned at all, but we're doing it, and it's something very, very different on this channel. We're mainly football-based content, but we've got a bit of golf for you today, and we've got a good friend of mine, Mr. Oli Leett. We're going to have a chat about his career. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks, Don. How are you?
Not too shabby, Alonso, mate. Just a bit tired. Bit annoyed that my background hasn't been done this morning. Because I'm getting a new background done, and it's a little bit horrible seeing all this blue tack in the background. So, yeah. But basically, what we're going to do, we had a chat with Oli for Prost International about 6-7 months ago. It was in the summer of last year, I think. And basically, we're just going to have another chat about basically what got you into golf coaching, what you're doing at the moment, and stuff like that. So basically, mate, just tell me how it started off for you. Where did your love of golf begin?
So yeah, it's an interesting one. I started, back in Aberystwyth, which is where I lived, and I played in the fields like when I was like 7, 6. My uncle played, and he'd take me to the local golf course, Penrose, occasionally. And then when I was 11, that's when I joined the club. And started playing in competitions and got pretty good pretty quickly. There was a few of us around, so that we were all sort of pushing each other. So I sort of, that's where it started. Junior golf at Penrose, played, got into the Welsh under-16 squad when I was 16 or 15. And that very much sort of made me realise I was a 3 handicapper. Good golfer, but when I got to that level, I realized that I wasn't good enough even at that age. I still loved golf and still played a lot of golf, but I knew I wasn't ever going to be good enough to make money out of playing golf. So, excuse me, my sort of perhaps career changed there from wanting to be a player. And I knew I loved helping people, so definitely wanted to go down the coaching route. So I went to college, did sports science in Haverfordwest. Then what did I do then? I worked in the printers for like 3 years in Cambion printers. I loved that. Do you know, I still love it now. I could go back now and like doing split shifts, working the machines, like folding paper. It's so exciting. And I know that sounds like I'm taking the mick, but I'm not. Like the folders are class. Setting them up was really good. So I loved that part of my life, and I was working and then had plenty of time to spend time with family and friends, and I still played golf, but I knew that there was someone else. And I remember sat there with my mum in my house, little cottage in Llanrhystud, and I said, look, I want to be a professional golfer, I want to coach. So went about how that went about, phoned the PGA. They were like, you need a C in English for GCSE, and hang up. I got a D. So I rung back and I'm like, no, I really want to do it. And they were like, no, hang up again. And I rung back. I'm like, no, I really want to do it. Like, tell me what I've got to do and I'll do it. And they were like, oh, we've got to go and do this entry level 2 course in English or whatever. And so I went to do that. Then got accepted onto the PGA. And then from there, once they accepted me, it was finding someone to take me on. So my local course didn't really have enough footfall, if you like, to have an assistant. So I had to look elsewhere and applied for many jobs, God knows how many jobs. And I got 11 or 12, maybe 13 interviews. So I think I got 13 interviews. And the first 12 interviews were a no. And I often look back and I think, that's quite strange why you kept going there, Ollie. I don't really know why, but something kept me going to the 13th interview, which was at Lillybrook in Cheltenham, 10 years ago now, Stonadge. And I was very fortunate. Harry, the pro at the time, gave me the job. And I sort of packed my Mini Cooper at the time, packed my bag with everything I owned, and shipped off to living in a room in someone's house in Cheltenham. Didn't know a soul, didn't know anyone, didn't know the place, the location or anything. So quite scary, although I was 21, to do that. But, it was definitely the best move I ever did. And I spent 2.5 to 3 years at Lillybrook, which was good fun with Harry. Learned a lot from him, my first mentor, if you will. And then I joined Tim Hall at Ross and Wye Golf Club 7.5 years ago. So I've been with Tim since, and he's a great mentor, and we've sort of grown and evolved as humans over those periods, and we've still got exciting times ahead. We're still moving forward. We're not standing still, and he was very much instrumental in helping me set up my Leett Putting Hub business, which is majority of what I do today, coaching putting all over the world. So it's good. Happy days.
It is. It's very good, and you bumped into a young, slightly more chubbier Chris Stonadge about 7 years ago as well, I think. And that's how I got to know Oli. I'm still talking to him today. Not quite playing golf. I might actually have to go get back into it now. It's the only sport you can play. But yeah, But Oli, so you talked about moving away from home at 21. Is it something that you would encourage younger golf pros, if they want to call themselves that, to do? If they can't get a job at their local one, do you think it's something that is a barrier?
Certainly can be a barrier, Chris. Yeah, it's it was for me. I think that back home that there's obviously good golf courses and you can make good careers around there, I think, as a head professional, but not many of those pros will take on assistants and be able to sort of give you the opportunities to grow, so I definitely learned a hell of a lot by driving that lonely time from Aberystwyth to Cheltenham. I learned a lot about myself, living in a little box room with a little oven in there. I learned how to live away from home, although I did when I was in college. And so I left home when I was 16. So I'd already lived away from home for 5 years by the time I moved to Cheltenham. But you go and experience different parts of the world. And I'm not one for sort of standing still. And, the reason I joined Tim was he was number one. He just won Foremost Pro of the Year of 1,000 pros. And I'm like, I want to be number one. So, Tim, I want a job, please. It was in that sort of, I got in touch and said, look, I want to work for you. You need to employ me, sort of thing. And we had an interview or two, and it was very, not an interview, as official. I never did a CV, I don't think, for Tim. And we just hit it off straight away, and we still do today. And it's a great working relationship.
Yeah, and obviously for Tim to take you on, it must have been because he could have just said no, flat out no. What would your reaction would have been if he had done that?
Convinced him further.
Absolutely, that's probably the best way. Well, you did. He's a good bloke as well, and he is still moving along today. So, is it your ambition potentially to step into Tim's shoes, maybe either a different golf club, or are you happy being an assistant, or you're not really an assistant anymore, are you, in comparison to what you were before?
Yeah, I think I still am Tim's assistant, for sure. And although I'm a qualified professional and I've got my own brand, I am not one who wants to go down the head pros route. So I'm not looking to, do something like Tim's doing, creating a school of golf. Leett Putting Hub is a putting hub, and that's what I love, is putting, coaching putting of all abilities and all ages. And that's what I want to, spend 80-90% of my time doing. So at Ross, it works very well where we've got, myself, Tim and James. We've got 3 professionals there. We share our roles and responsibilities with coaching. I still enjoy doing the junior coaching 100% and group coaching. So we've got quite a nice balance there where it's a great club. The members are fantastic and they look after us, that they support us really well. So to be honest, life is good and I'm very happy where I am and I'm very fortunate to be, with a great group of guys and life is good, to be fair. I haven't seen them for a couple of months.
Well, yeah, talk to us about how the Tim Hall School of Golf is coping really with this situation. Obviously, it's completely unprecedented, something that you can't and couldn't have even prepared for. So how have you guys been dealing with it?
So it's been difficult, right? That's without a doubt. But we've still managed to do some coaching. So something we're very proud of is the Junior Academy. We feel like it's a strong part of what we do. And as you know, Chris, you were part of it for a few years. And so we've got a 7-stage junior program, which starts from 3-year-olds to, I say 18. We let the odd 20-year-old come in if they're nice. Or not, don't come in, but they can stay in. We don't let them join, but if they have gone out of junior, they still can be part of that program, the elite development program. So we do sort of 10 hours a week coaching, and through isolation, we've managed to continue doing every single part of our coaching online. So we've not actually missed a session. We've actually upped it to 12 hours a week. So we've been doing 12 hours a week, normally myself, Tim and James on the call, or certainly 2 of us. And we've managed to get some wonderful special guests on to come on and talk and inspire the kids, which has been really special. And it's been great to see these, celebrities, if you like, or professional athletes or golfers come on and talk to the kids. So that's been, a huge positive and something that's been really fabulous coming out of the last 2 months.
Yeah, so you mentioned before Leett Putting Hub. Talk to me about the birth of that. Really, as someone who was still quite young and still relatively inexperienced to brand yourself really as a putting specialist. And did you have to learn more on the job?
Definitely, still learning on the job today, Chris. I've got a long way to go, but yeah, Tim was very much wanting me to set up my own brand. He was sort of naturally coaching more the long game, so it worked well that I loved the short game, and my passion for putting especially was there, and I loved it. So that was quite a natural area for me to just drift into, and I thought it was going to be not relatively easy to become a putting specialist, but I soon realized with David Orr about 5 years ago how little I do know, or I did know, and I'm very fortunate now to have great mentors in David Orr, Phil Kenyon, Mark Bull, and still Tim, to help me evolve as a coach on a daily basis. I've spent, crikey, must be 50 grand on myself in the last 7 years, getting education. I do a lot with AimPoint. David Orr and Phil Kenyon doing their courses, traveling the world, going to different places, picking different people's brains. I'm quite a stubborn little bugger, and when I want to do something, I normally get there. I think that's something like the interviews of 13 interviews. I just keep going and keep wanting to evolve and improve as a human on a daily basis, and that's all I'm doing really. I've not got goals to where I want to be. I'm just gonna keep getting better every single day. Sure, I've got ideas and things that I'm going to be implementing that's improving, but I don't see there being an end goal. I'm just evolving. I'm going to keep improving as a human, as a putting coach, and that's it really.
Yeah, and for you, obviously you've worked with players now on tour. How do you make the transition between, say, junior, amateur golfer, elite amateur golfer, and professional golfer?
How do golfers?
How do you as a coach make the transition between them all?
It's an interesting one, Chris, because I think every individual is individual, right? So I've not got a plan for this golfer, a plan for this type of golfer, and the tour players I do this. For me, I start every lesson the same, and I ask them, how can I help you today? And I listen to what they say, and I help them.
That's probably
like, I know I say that to you, like, you know, what's your job? Well, I help people hold more putts. Like, that is it. How I do it, I don't really know how I'm going to do it. There's lots of different areas, and I'll use David Orr's template. So, you know, we've got the mental state, we've got our putting skills, we've got our stroke fundamentals, we've got our putter, is it helping or hurting? We've got our movement strategy, we've got our horsepower, how do we generate speed? And then what are our movement strategies for shapes, for lines, for visualizing? How do we practice on a daily basis? What's our beliefs? So once I start figuring all that out and looking at the big picture, then I know which part of the puzzle, or I say puzzle, Phil Kenyon calls it an ecosystem. I like that. It's like an ecosystem, a player's ecosystem, because golfers aren't robots. We're not going to set them up to be like robots. We need to move them as an ecosystem and get them better.
Yeah, absolutely. And so talk to me more about AimPoint and how that works and how you got into coaching it.
Sure. So AimPoint is a green reading method, and it is awesome. I must say it's my favorite thing to coach out of everything I do. I absolutely love it. I've over the last 4 or 5 years, I've put 660 students through AimPoint, and every single session I do, 20 minutes or half an hour into the session, there's like the penny drops with the player, and there's this like moment that happens that's like, oh my God, it works. And it's like, for me as a coach, like I'm buzzing, they're buzzing, and I just love having that feeling, and that's why I love coaching it. You know, it's a system that's used all over the world by many tour players, and you know the amount of golfers using it and worldwide and winning with it is incredible. And what I do love is that we, as AimPoint, as a brand, we don't pay any player a penny to use it. And you know, we're in a world where you know players flash a watch on their screen, or they wear a hat that advertise. We don't pay them a penny, so they stand there and do AimPoint, and they use it because it works. That's what I love about it. So how does it help golfers? It gives them confidence. They know where to aim on every putt. So it's cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I was very fortunate to get involved with the AimPoint Express read when Mark Sweeney developed the new Express read from the chart. And at the time, Jamie Donaldson was the only European coach, or the only coach in the UK. And he went out looking for about 5 or 6 different instructors to be level 1 coaches. And it just happened to be the time when I was sort of setting out, and I badgered him and pestered him and nagged him and persuaded him to give me the opportunity, which he did. And I did my level 1 and level 2, and now I'm a level 3 coach. So absolutely love it. Going all over the UK coaching AimPoint, 200, 300 students a year. So it's a bit different this year. Not done too many yet. Not sure if I will do too many this year as well, but it's a big part of sort of my coaching, and I love doing it. And it's it's cool. It's good stuff.
It certainly is. And what's amazing about you, and that I found unbelievable when I first met you, really, is that you've only got, I think, is it 4 functioning fingers? Is that right? Yeah. There you go. 6. 2.
These are funny.
Yeah. So talk to me about that, really, because obviously you've had it your whole life, but how has it impacted your work as a golfer? You know, because I can't imagine how like you hold it personally, or how you have the grip. So how's it work for you?
It's an interesting one, Ston. You know, how I grip the club, I don't really know. I just grab it and make sure I don't let go of it. If it rains, that becomes difficult. But like, how have I adapted and evolved? Like, the good thing is that I was born with hands this way. So it's just normal. Like, I don't see it as something to hold me back. Like, I don't know. It's just normal. Like, if I had normal fingers, they would get in the way. Do you know what I mean? I could do everything with these. I don't think there's anything I can't do. You know, from playing golf to, you know, whatever, you know, there's nothing I can't do. So I don't think that it holds me back, really, because I can't think of anything that I can't do.
No, exactly. And it's great that, you know, people who've got that like to it, if people with your attitude is like, I can do anything that I want, you know, with something that you could be seen as holding you back, but it's not, and it's brilliant stuff. So for you in the future, what does the future hold for you? Obviously, you've got a young girl now, Esme, who's three now.
3 in July.
Three in July. So what does the future hold for you in terms of what you're planning to do in terms of coaching, in terms of traveling, and maybe in terms of moving away?
Yeah, you know, obviously having a young daughter, young family, I'm just loving that part of my life at the moment, and as much as I'm loving my work life. So life's very good at the moment. You know, that she's just a wonderful joy, a bundle of joy, and every single day, you know, is a different day, and something new comes out of her mouth, and it is fabulous. So I want to be working hard, but also want to make sure I've got the work-life balance, which is difficult to juggle, to make sure I'm there for her childhood. I don't want to be away, excuse me, working all the time. So it's a fine balance. And regarding Leett Putting Hub and you know, Ross and Wye Golf Club and Tynwald School of Golf, for me, I've not got any sort of real long-term goals apart from evolving, keep improving, keep learning, keep investing in myself, and moving forward. You know, there's a few new things that I've managed to have the time to do over isolation. So a podcast. I'm looking at setting up a Leett Putting Hub school with a curriculum to launch in 2021. I'm going to be, as well as doing my putting days at away golf clubs, I want to do putting evenings at away golf clubs through the winter to help golf clubs fill the clubhouse on those quiet, windy, blustery evenings or days. So there's a few things that are evolving and moving forward. And, you know, for me, it's been a great opportunity last couple of months to a lot of procedures in place and look at my business from scratch, you know, to see exactly every penny, where it comes from and how long it takes to earn that penny. So that's been good. That's been very eye-opening for me. And yeah, regarding the future, like, we just keep improving, evolving, and happy days.
So talk about the podcast. You know, great podcast. You know, I don't know who edits it, but he must be a great editor. You know, when I hear that podcast. But talk to me about that. Where did the idea come from, and where did, you know, are you seeing it as potentially, you know, something that you could get into, you know, something that you can attract some really great guests onto? Anyway, you already have. We already have seen some great guests. So talk to us more about the podcast.
No problem. Yeah, the guy who edits my podcast is a right pain in the ass. He is a nightmare. And I don't know who he is, but apparently he likes Liverpool.
Ugh.
And he's got pictures of players like Robinson and Alexander Arnold and The Verge. But I don't know who he is. But no, in all seriousness, you do a great job of doing that. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. So the podcast, yeah, I've been listening to podcasts. I've got a 40-minute drive to work and back. So an hour and 20 minutes a day when I'm going to work is my learning time. And that's when I'm not one for sitting down reading books as such, but I like to listen to podcasts or books or, you know, quite interesting stuff. So podcasts have been something I've listened to, and I've always thought it'd be cool to do my own podcast. I'd love to do one. And that's sort of as far as it's gone. And, you know, we've spoke about it in the last 6 months since we've been working together on bits and bobs. And like, yeah, I'd like to do it. And then obviously now I've had the opportunity, bought myself a beautiful gold mic that you can see down here. Hello.
Beautiful stuff in it.
Guess who told me to buy one of these? What Muppet listened to me? So anyway, so investing time in doing that. And the first few guests have gone live. I think there's 2 or 3 gone live.
Yeah.
And we've got another sort of 6 lined up. It's a learning progress. It's nice. You know, I didn't know how to use one of these microphone things. And although I think I look a bit of an idiot now with these these things on. And but anyway, yeah, you know, it's great for education, so I know how to not edit it, but understand how it works a little bit more. It's quite a hurdle when you're doing mobile calls rather than being with someone in the same room, as you know. And bad quality really pisses me off. Am I allowed to
yeah,
say
you can
that?
swear, mate. You can swear. It's fine. It's cool.
That's not swearing. That's just a little bit rude, but I don't mean to be. But as you know, right? So that annoys me. But so it's evolving and trying to get it better every single day. And it's just good fun. It's nice. I'm learning a lot, you know. Speaking to Terry Mundy this morning, who's been a caddy for 30 years and caddied for Laura Davis for 7 years. He caddied for, he still does caddy for Ian Poulter for 15 years. And his insights are wonderful. He's seen a lot in his time. Do you know what I mean? So you get to hear some great stories, like, you know, he was talking about when he went to a casino with Laura Davis and what happened there. You know, that was fascinating. You know, it's just great to hear some great stories from these guys. So and girls. Annabelle Dimmick was on one of the shows, and she's a lovely lady and very gracious with her time. So yeah, it's been good. I just enjoy it. You know, a little bit of research on the individual. Andrew Coulthard, you know, he played in a Ryder Cup against Tiger Woods. Like, who else can say that about 5 other people in the world? Do you know what I mean? So it's great to pick the brains of these guys. So I enjoy the little bit of research. I'm enjoying the little bit of learning on how to do it and how to get better at it. And as you know, I'm quite obsessed with that. And get on your nerves doing nagging you. And it's just nice to learn and hopefully offer something to the listeners, you know, to something to listen to that helps them with their golf and maybe their life. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying them.
And helps them with passing time during lockdown. Some people have bugger all to do. So to listen to the Leett Putting Hub podcast, the Read It, Roll It, Hold It podcast, I apologise. That would be excellent. Please, everyone who's watching this, go drop it a listen. I'll drop a link in the description. And yeah, it's really, really good stuff, and it's good fun to edit. So we'll close it off there, mate. Go follow what are your social medias that we can all go and follow?
So we have, it's a good question now. Facebook, Leett Putting Hub.
Yeah.
Instagram is Putting Hub.
Yeah.
Twitter is Putting Hub with a capital P and a capital H, I think. So, yeah, the Google, YouTube, I've got a channel as well, and my podcast, my website, Leett Putting Hub. Pretty active on most social medias and enjoy having a bit of banter along the way as well. So all is good. Exactly. Thank you very much. For those of you who are watching, thanks for all the support recently. We've gained about 15 subs in the last 2 days, which is, whoa. For a size of our level, that is mental. But keep it going. We've got some interviews going out with Jamie Sandals-White, with Leo Bramond, who is a social media guy. So everyone go watch them. This will be out today. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time.